in Chicago night before last. John Wall with Garrett Temple, Otto Porter, Jared Dudley, and Nenê. Marcin Gortat is out again for tonight's game, but Bradley Beal is available and expected to play on October 30th in Milwaukee, and again 115-86 on November 17th here. But since the calendar year of 2013, the Wizards have beaten this team 9 out of 11 times, including 3 straight here at Verizon Center, by an average of 17.7 points a game. Temple, the Wizards get the steal into Nenê, and he scores quickly. Washington off to a quick start. Steve Buckhantz, Phil Chenier, Chris Miller, and Antoine Jamison joining us for the broadcast as well. Washington comes off a very impressive win at Chicago the other night, 114-100.
Actually, you think about the last 2 games, they started off the game very aggressive, making things happen with defense, forcing turnovers, and they start off the game doing the same way here.
Yeah, very aggressive play, defensively getting after it. That's a tough shot by Otto Porter that rims off. And a very impressive win by this Milwaukee team, AJ, as they beat Chicago the other night. They gave up a big lead. The Bulls came back, took the edge, but Milwaukee never gave up, and they won that game.
Yeah, Milwaukee kind of have the identity of their coach, Jason Kidd, who's not coaching them up late. But this is a dangerous team, especially when they get it going. They have a lot of talent out there. So far, they haven't yet been able to be consistent. Pretty much the same problem the Wizards have as well.
Yeah, we'll see how they do tonight. The game against Chicago last night at Antetokounmpo was very aggressive. Chris Middleton has been terrific. He's been their most productive player the last 8 games. They get 2 down court.
But you think about plays like that, that's how they do the majority of their scoring. Middleton's a great shooter. The rest of them, they usually do a lot of transition baskets.
Joe Prunty, the assistant coach, has been filling in for Jason Kidd, who's had hip surgery. Nenê loses it. The Wizards turn it over. Alley-oop is broken up by Porter, but they'll call a foul on him. Your refs tonight are Danny Crawford, Mitchell Irvin, and Bill Kennedy.
Boy, that was unfortunate because that's a live ball. That's free. And Porter has just as much right to that ball. He gets the block there on Parker, but unfortunately gets called for the foul.
It looked like he had all ball, but got him with the body. And the call is made. Take a look at our Toyota Star Track tonight. I mentioned Chris Middleton. He's been terrific for this team lately. And you see his numbers versus Washington, and also Ramon Sessions, the former Milwaukee Buck.
Ramon had a pretty good game that first game up in Milwaukee. It was the second game. Washington came away with a win, and Ramon had over 20 points in that game.
Nenê, a little off balance, takes the shot and scores over Greg Monroe.
Boy, that is going to be a war down there. You're talking about 2 physical players.
You preach. But it's great to see that the Wizards are out there really taking from what they learned in practice to game time situation.
Yeah, like we said, Buck, this is the 3rd consecutive game. They've been very active to start the game. And,
yes.
You know, getting deflections, getting the steals, applying the pressure, forcing turnovers that way. And it's been very disruptive.
It started in Orlando, and we saw that from the opening tip. Very aggressive on defense, switching, double-teaming, rotating, forcing turnovers. It continued in Chicago, and it's happening here again tonight. As Antetokounmpo makes the first, he had 29 points in their win over Chicago the other night, 106-101. He was 9 of 14 from the free throw line, had 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal.
Did that in a little over 30 minutes, so you're talking about a guy very efficient. One of his problems at Antetokounmpo.
They go to Monroe in the paint. Shoots the short shot, no good. Nenê rips down the rebound. Neal, guarded by Mayo. Nenê going strong, lays it up, and it rolls in. It will not count. An offensive foul called on the big Brazilian.
What did he use? Like we said, they have 30 points off the turnovers committed by the Bulls last night.
Well, we talked about O.J. Mayo, Phil, being bothered by the hamstring. He has left and will not return. Nenê fires it out to Dudley, and he hits a much-needed three for this Washington club.
Nice way to stop the drought on the offensive end. Now we got to get some resistance defensively. Nenê able to convert the turnover.
Dudley. Boy, the ball's going all over the place, and it's dumped in by...
Most referees will get the tendencies to look over and converse or talk about it a little bit. So, young fella got a lot to learn about selling fouls like that.
That's right.
Nenê gets the steal. Throws it ahead for Sessions. He slams it in.
Well,
So it's O'Brien and Nenê to jump in front of the Milwaukee basket. And won by Washington.
that's
If you want to be consistent, not on the road, also at home.
Well, they've opened this quarter, AJ, on a 12-0 run. That's knocked out of bounds. Greg Monroe complaining. He thought Nenê fouled him.
And Nenê has been the culprit as far as leading the way with his energy on the defensive end.
he said something to Greg Monroe. Middleton, baseline jumper, good. Chris Middleton in his fourth year from Texas A&M, third year with Milwaukee. Got him from Detroit with Brandon Knight for Brandon Jennings. Into the corner, Sessions drives for Nenê, who spins, lays it up and in.
Oh, what a beautiful move, and just a quick reaction from Nenê.
Wizards have scored 33 points off of those mistakes.
And that last bucket by Middleton, the first three of the game for the Bucks. They're 1 of 5.
Nenê drops it in. Terrific inside player, and he's got
steal. Watch John how aggressively and quick he reacts to that pass to Monroe, knowing it wants to go there. Now he's up and running. Look away pass to Nenê with the contact. Can't get it to go down, though.
Nenê now with 12 points in the game. He's 5 of 7 from the field. He's always been an excellent shooter in terms of percentages, and we saw that in Chicago a couple of years ago in the playoffs. And can't get the second one. Good trying to keep it. It's a turnover. Oh, I thought he traveled on that play. But it's Washington in the forecourt. Inbound to Beal. He got pushed on the play by Vaughn. Now 1.6 seconds, so only 0.4 of a second went off the clock.
That was quick, yeah. But again, we remind you, no timeouts left for the Bucks, so they can't miss or made free throws. They can't call a timeout and advance the ball.
Good night for Bradley Beal in his first game in the last 17 straight. 3 of 8 from the field, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Gets them both. No timeouts, and this game will be over. Antetokounmpo will heave, and that is it. The Wizards will